Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Hayes. I'm the CEO of VarsityConnects.com, my brand new program to help parents go from one specific place that's stuck and frustrated with the communication with their student athlete to confident, well-connected parents so they can enjoy their child's athletic pursuits. So this program is all about helping parents of college-bound athletes get more connected, more a part of the college athletic experience with their students through dynamic communication. As I said, my name is Mark Hayes. I'm the CEO, and I created this program out of my experiences with my own athletic career in college and traveling and transferring and trying to find this perfect utopia when it comes to college sports, through the experiences with my two sons who both played Division I college sports. One played football at Howard University, and the other played hockey for the University of Maine. So, folks, what I'm here to tell you is that the landscape in college sports, as you know, is changing on almost a daily basis. And in order to enjoy this experience, because it's supposed to be enjoyable, yes, it's hard work, very, very hard work, but it's supposed to be enjoyable too. And as a family, you guys should be able to enjoy it together. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you know exactly what's going on in each other's lives and you're a well-connected unit. I have two very different outcomes when it comes to my two boys. My hockey player was dedicated, disciplined, determined. He is a black man that lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and for the past 3 years since he's turned professional, he's gone to bed at 9:30. He's not out in the street. He's not out chasing parties and chasing young ladies, which he could be doing in the city of Atlanta. I mean, that's what we're known for. That's not him. He's more focused, more determined, more passionate than anyone I've ever seen pursuing the game at his level. So it is one of those things that when you look at your kids and you say each one has their own personality, because my other son doesn't want to miss a party. He played football at Howard University, and I don't think he missed a single party while he was there. And that ultimately led to him not getting the results he just thought about getting on the football field, because he never really worked toward those results, the results that he desired. He didn't set goals, which is huge. I mean, how can you attain anything if you don't know what you're working for? If you haven't identified a specific place that you want to go? I mean, none of us ever just get in the car and just drive somewhere. You got to have direction. You got to have goals. You got to have an endpoint, a result that you'd like to acquire and then work toward it. He never did that. And, you know, and I guess part of that is on me as a dad. You know, I let him get away with it. I let it fly. And I tried to explain it to him, but I didn't do it in the most effective way. But what I did do was take the lessons that I learned from my older boy at Howard University and through his football experiences and everything that we learned from that whole 5-year experience. And he ended up getting his degree, so I couldn't complain there. But I took that, and with the gap that I had between the two boys, I was able to reassess the way that I communicate with my kids. And one of the most important things that I did was, stop talking at them and start talking to them. Because the end result is, like I said, night and day. I've got one son that's playing professional hockey and another one that sits in a Georgia prison. So I've seen the extremes, and I've seen the ripple effect. When your child is hurting, the entire family hurts. And as we go forward in our course, I will share with you some of these stories and some of these anecdotes, and they may be affecting your family right now. Communication is hard. It's even harder when you factor in COVID. It's even harder when you factor in the college recruiting process and trying to figure out which school is best, which is the best fit for your child. I've got a bunch of stories about that. And what we're going to do is offer experiential learning. So I will share my experiences, but I'm also creating a community of experts, coaches, sports psychologists, mindfulness experts, people who understand how important mindset communication is, and how important it is to stay connected with your children with everything they're dealing with now. I mean, just think about how much is going on if you're a college athlete headed off into that abyss. I mean, you've got name, image, and likeness deals. You've got big time sports programs all on television. You've got social media. You've got the pressure of your friends. You've got a girlfriend that you might not want to leave in your hometown. You've got all these things going on. You're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old trying to figure out how to process all this, and you don't have any context. And who best to give you that context than mom and dad? I mean, they are your number one designated cheerleaders, right? I tried to convince my older son, for 34 years now that I'm never going to give you bad advice. I'm never going to lead you wrong on purpose. I don't know that he believes me to this day. I don't know that he believes me to this day. My younger guy, he trusts me. He trusts me. And maybe it's because of the way that I communicated with him. Maybe it's because of the way that I evolved and learned from the tough lessons of my older son. But either way, I want to share them with you. And I want you to be able to grow and learn and understand that, we're not perfect. And communicating with our kids is never easy. And we all struggle with it. So I know if I struggled with it, I know you're struggling with it, but I've got some tools that can help you. I was a television newscaster for almost 30 years, spent a lot of time in front of the camera, interviewing people, total strangers. And my superpower is that I can talk to anyone, anytime, any place about anything. And I want to teach you how to do that too, because it's all about preparation, right? And if we prepare to connect with our kids, we're going to be much more successful than if we're just, throwing out random questions and lobbing out, random statements to try to get them talking. Because they'll talk. And once they believe that you care, they'll give you all the information that you need to know. They'll tell you everything that's going on. And if you know everything that's going on with them, that's when you can help. Because let me tell you something. Let's just run down some of the issues that they're going to deal with when they go to college. They're going to not be on the first team. They're going to not get it right because the freshmen never get it right. They're going to struggle with relationships with the young ladies or the young men on campus if you happen to have a daughter that's playing college sports and you're in our course. They're going to deal with drugs. And it's not just weed and cocaine anymore like it was back in the 80s when I was in school. I mean, you're talking about heroin, you're talking about prescription drugs, you're talking about all kinds of drugs that people have easy access to because kids now have untold resources. I mean, how many kids do you know that don't drive, that don't have a card that they can swipe? So if they have those two things, they can get their hands on just about anything. They're going to deal with mental health issues. They're going to deal with anxiety. They're going to deal with depression. If it doesn't affect them, it might affect their roommate or their teammate or their very good friends. And again, the ripple effect will come down and trickle down and have an impact on them. And as a mom and dad, you want to have the tools in your toolkit to be able to help them, to be able to give them guidance, because Lord knows if you don't give them guidance, somebody else out here in these streets will. Somebody else will do it. And as I found out in my son's case, they don't always have your best interest at heart. He found out the hard way. And now I'm telling you that as a parent, it is worth your while to do everything you can to provide this connection with your child. Because let's think about it, all right? 1% of college athletes, less than 1% go on to play professional sports, right? That's a very small number. And I know we all think our kids are special, but the bottom line is the large majority of our kids are going to go on to go pro in something else. They're going to be doctors, lawyers, attorneys, accountants, amazing people contributing to society. And we want them to be able to communicate as best they can as young adults, because that's going to be the difference to get them in the door with that first gig. If your kid can communicate when he becomes a young adult, because you'd be shocked at how managers and corporations are just so afraid of millennials and young kids right now because of their inability to communicate. And you know what it is? It's those phones. It's the phone and iPad. And because LOL and K is not a conversation, but yet that's the way these kids came up. And that's the way they communicate. That's not how you communicate when you're going to get a job. So moms and dads, if you help push them along, help them to open up, help them to be free-spirited and to be able to be connected and to form connections with other people outside of a text and a telephone call, you're setting your kid up for success, whether it's in sports or out of sports. Think about the most successful coaches in college and professional athletics. They are all amazing communicators. Every coach I had in college football was an amazing storyteller. Just told the funniest, outrageous stories that are so memorable. I remember them 30 years from 30 years ago. And they still make me laugh to this day. And I'll share more of that with you as we go along. But there are going to be some lessons that we learn here that I believe that you absolutely cannot live without as a parent. And if I had had these lessons, 15, 20 years ago when my son was coming out of college and going into college, things would have been entirely different for us. They would have been entirely different for us, and I would have had a totally different approach. And I tried to do it the old-fashioned way, like my dad did it. And as the generations progress, things change. And you have to progress with the times, and we have to change with the times. And that's why we have to meet our kids where they are. And, the music that they're listening to is another influence out there that is incredibly powerful. But as parents, if we don't know what they're listening to, we can't address it, and we can't have conversations with them about it. Because if you have a conversation with them about it, they'll tell you what they like and don't like, what they need and don't need, what they use the music for, how it motivates them. Those are things that you need to know about your child so that you can have intelligent, connected, thought-provoking conversations with them. So with that, I will say this, that there are a couple things that I'm going to teach you. I'm a Jack Canfield certified trainer. Jack Canfield, as you know, is Chicken Soup for the Soul author, sold over 500 million books worldwide. And I took his Train the Trainer course, and it was absolutely pivotal in changing my life. I lost 50 pounds, became an entrepreneur, and totally reshaped my life just by reading Jack's Success Principles book. And so I took the course, I mastered it, and now I understand exactly why successful people are successful. And when it comes to communication, everyone can be successful at it if they want to be. You can master the art of communication if you're willing to do the work. And I will show you how to do the work. I will teach you the lessons behind clarity, mindfulness, total responsibility, leaning into it, rejecting rejection. That's another one. A lot of parents get frustrated with their kids because their kids reject them and reject the opportunity to have conversations with them. And you know why? It's because we're not doing it right. Because we're struggling ourselves, right? So we've got to be able to reject rejection, go back, use that feedback, get back at the blackboard and retool. And I'm going to give you the tools that you need to be successful. So it's varsityconnects.com. I'm going to put a link in the description here for you to set up a call with me to get more information on the program. I'll let you know when it's going to kick off. And the special pricing that we have for you folks that get in on the founders level. Like I said, this is a brand new course. This is a brand new opportunity for you. And I've done research. I spent the last 6 months talking to dozens and dozens of parents of athletes, both former and current athletes, and those that are heading into college now. to find out exactly what they needed in a course that would help them be successful, creating a more perfect connection with their children. And now that I've gathered that information, I've put it all in one place, got it in one course in order to help you experience a more joyful experience when you drive 3 or 4 hours to watch your child play. Maybe they don't play, but you know what? As a family, you still had a good time. Whether they scored 3 touchdowns, 3 points, or didn't play 3 seconds, you guys can still find a way to enjoy the time, enjoy the experience, and love each other unconditionally. And that's what it's all about. And that's the bottom line. Being able to support your child unconditionally through dynamic communication, it opens up so many doors for you. Trust me, as I continue to share stories from my journey, I'm sure you will see the value in this brand new course. So click on the link below. Check out my schedule there. You can go ahead and book a call. I can give you some more information about it. We can talk a little bit about where you are in your journey, and we can talk about whether or not this course is right for you. But that's it for now. I'm Mark Hayes. What a pleasure meeting you, and look forward to working with you soon.